Welcome back to Not Alone with Melissa Sue Methvin, where we share stories that inspire hope, bring light, and most of all, resilience. Today, I'm welcoming a guest that is a powerful woman that is guided by God, that finds the courage to step in God's light that is within her, to do anything that's asked of him, even though it takes everything from her to move in that path. This woman is Keira Brinton. She is the founder of Joan of Arc Publishing House, the host of Riders Island TV show, a documentary series that will launch in January 2026. She is also a global spiritual guide with her podcast called Sacred Wandering. She is most importantly, though, a wonderful, brave, and loving mother, a single mom of 5 beautiful children. And today, I'm deeply moved because this woman has completely changed the trajectory of my life, because she helped me write, divinely write, the truth behind the smiles and the God connection. She is my writing coach, a friend, and someone that just ignites that fire within me where I'm always a holy hell yes when she asks me to do anything, because I know where it's coming from. Yes, it's coming from her light, but it's coming from God. It's coming from God, and she's pushing me to step forward with courage to do what God is asking me to do. She's that messenger for me, and that's why I keep saying yes. So today, I'm honored. She's visiting here in Arizona, and I have her here live, which I know you're a busy woman, so thank you.
Oh my gosh, I'm so damn proud of you. Like, I'm just crying over here looking at all that you've done, who you've become since you said yes to writing this book, and everything that has happened and all the lives have changed. And I'm so honored to know you.
Thank you. Thank you. And honestly, you've taught me the importance of that spiritual practice, to truly bless our body, to protect my body, to be so strong in listening and finding that clarity and stepping into it. So and I saw the miracles that happen because I'm following kind of how you're doing your life as well. Yeah. And there's going to be failures, there's going to be path. And I hope everyone listening, because I know there's a lot of women, especially listening, that are overwhelmed. Yeah. They're scared. Yeah. They're having a lot of fear, and they've gone through a lot of abuse. Yeah. Suicidal thoughts. And to hear your story today will give them the courage to step forward of how their life can be in the future, and find that clarity. Just because right now I know a lot of them are hurting and they're lost and they don't know how. I mean, look at you. Look at the empire that you have created now. Yeah. The Joan of Arc Publishing House. Yeah. I've met most of the authors, and every story will save a life, is bringing light to this world. But you're helping ignite that and birth these stories to the world. So that's you. That's you, what you're doing.
In 2017, I was still married, and I had all my trauma memories had arrived. There was something that happened in my life that actually woke up all my trauma memories of being abused as a child, and it was too much. It was so much, like being in this really intense marriage and then having all these memories arrive, and I almost committed suicide. And the moment that I almost took my life, I felt God appear. Didn't see God with my eyes, but I knew it was God. And I heard words clear as day that said, "You have work to do, you need to stay." And I remember, I had taken Sharpie all over my arms and had written, like, "I choose to live, surrender fear, face Christ." Like, I was trying so hard to outweigh the voices that wanted me dead. But in that moment, I heard God say those words, like my truest self rose, even though I was a mess. Like Keira, the body, she was on the ground crying, a mess. My truest self made a covenant that I would do whatever God asked me to do. And that was the beginning of everything. So my marriage didn't end until 2022, but in 2017, I became new. And it was a slow process, but I just started to do whatever God asked me to do. So God asked me to write a book, and I wrote my first book.
Yes, I think I have.
No, that's not even the first book.
No, that's not the one.
That's like fourth book. My first book, God told me to write a book called The Hidden Gifts Within the Trauma of Sexual Abuse. Oh, wow. And I was like, why would I write that? There's no gifts in trauma of sexual abuse, but I had just made this covenant. So I wrote that book. It was the first time I'd ever channeled written. And while I was writing it, God said, you need to start a publishing house. I was like, what are you even talking about? I am a massage therapist. Like, what are you saying? I haven't gone to a day of college. Like, I am for sure not starting a publishing house, but I had made this covenant. And so I like bought a book on Amazon on how to start a publishing house.
I love you.
And so I did. And like, I remember the day I went to the lawyer's office to trademark, which the publishing house was called Freedom House, because I think my soul wanted a house of freedom. Mm-hmm. And so it was Freedom House Publishing. I'm there like signing papers. I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just following the rules in the book. And my children are like ninja karate chopping each other. I've got a baby in my arm. And I'm just like, what am I doing? and that began what I would call a hobby. Like publishing books became a hobby. And I hired my sister, who's way more organized than me, to write, to publish. Like I was like, hey, you're going to manage the publishing part and I'm going to start helping people write books. And we just did it for fun. And it was like 5 a year, I think I published. And it was horrible. We were like duct taping publishing. And then in 2022, January of 2022, this like thing came alive where I was like, I think I'm really good at business. I think I'm actually like really gifted in helping people write books. And so then actually I started to charge a lot of money for a mastermind. And in that moment, I had somebody come to me and said, you're in abuse. And so it was the combination of both. It was the combination of I had stacked aside this money and somebody finally witnessed the truth that I had always known. And I'd had since 2017 so much personal development. I had been going to masterminds. I took like 5 credit cards out to go to Casey Baker's 9-month mastermind. Mm-hmm. Like we had no money. I was literally like scrap mealing everything I could to become a better person. And so I feel like it was this long process of investing in myself and being trained by brilliant masters, awakening the master inside of me, and then me finally seeing this is not where I need to be in life. And God told me take no child support, no alimony. And so I literally was like, I have this amount of money, which hopefully can help me care for my children for a year. And I'm going to pray to God I know how to make money.
This is so important. Everything you said, just to go back, like for women listening, is that you said no to alimony. You said no, because sometimes they'll fight, that's a long drawn out thing. Yeah. It takes so much of their energy. Plus, you invested in yourself, which women have such, especially mothers, have a hard time doing, right? Yes. They'll be the last one they want to invest. Yep. And with your faith. So you stepped into all those things. So to fill your cup and to, I love that you said it, awaken who you were always meant to be, right? But to get there, you had to invest in you.
Yeah, that was the first step.
Yeah.
Really?
And do you find, sometimes I go back, because you said you had a friend, you had somebody say you are in abuse. Sometimes I'm like, I wish the same thing. Why didn't nobody just come in? So now I feel like I almost prefer to be like that for people.
Yeah, I am.
Where I can be that clear.
Straight to people.
Straight. Yeah. Yes.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Yes.
You're in abuse and let's go. And 9 times out of 10, they will not listen to me.
Yes. I actually, I would say 9 times out of 10, but I have some, that's what they needed to do. And I find they found their own clarity by writing to me and going, oh, You're right. And it's slowly they start seeing it, you know, but the questions often arise, well, how do I leave? How do I do this? And a lot of times I say, well, you got to go, we got to pray. We got to pray, and God will open doors that we never thought we would, you know, would never think those doors. I can never tell her this is what's going to happen. Money's going to pour in, but we just got to keep faith that we're going in the right direction. So I just wanted to just capture all, because you said a lot there.
Yeah, I did.
That I think is so important for the listener to know what you had to do. I can't believe, like, in the 3 years, what you have created now. And I see you. I've seen the depth, the struggles to do it all. You know, it's a lot. It's a lot, you know, and it's overwhelming. But also the practices that you do for yourself, and you know that you have to take care of you as well and your children, and balancing it all. I mean, it can't be easy to balance everything that you do. And I think your faith is probably number one. I mean, I know you started Sacred Wondering and the blessing of the body, and because I know that's probably been a huge proponent for you to be able to be at this high energy and this light for us all, you know, to ignite that fire. But it probably, you need to replenish all the time.
I don't go a day without blessing my body ever. Some days are long. So if people don't know what blessing of the body is, it's a practice that God showed me where I bless water, and then I take the water and I bless every chakra of my body. And I bless that chakra to match the frequency of miracles. So by the time I've gotten to my feet, I have moved through every energetic center and activation with my intention, with blessings, with prayer, that it matches the frequency of miracles. And there are some days that prayer is an hour and a half. And I sit in deep healing with God. And like today, I had 8 minutes. And so in those 8 minutes, I blessed each chakra, and then it was on. Like, it's not the same every day, and it's the same every day, right? Like, I'm always blessing, but some days it's deep. And some days, I need God to sit with me. And some days it's just like, all right, just God, lift my energy. And for a while, I was doing it 3 times a day, and I've got to get back into that. But it always happens in the morning. And that has been my ground through these 3 years. It actually was shown to me a year before my marriage ended. And, you know, my practice is very different. I wear a prayer shawl. I have a white pitcher. I pour it into a bowl. And it's strange. And it was really awkward in my marriage that I was doing these practices. And I didn't like feeling awkward around how I met with God. So I ended up buying a tent and placed it on my land. And it was there that I feel like sovereignty was born. It was in this green army tent that I had turned into a temple, really. And I would go and I would meet God, and it'd be 16 degrees outside in the winter, and I'd still be out there blessing my body, because it was the place where I found safety in such chaos. And I do believe that gave me the strength that year to leave. Yeah. Absolutely. That light, on even a cellular level, because that's what prayer does, you know, provides that light, that strength, you know, to over that darkness, you know. I mean, there was just so much going on. So I think that's important, because that's why I love you as a writing coach, because we pray over these books. And what happened to me when we were in Mill Valley, California, I had Keira all to myself for 5 days to channel my book. And it's hard to put into words what happened as we prayed. And when I always say, I wrote the book, but I feel, no, God gave me the words. I would wake up in the middle of the night. You know, I remember having 3 ladybugs in a bedroom. Gosh.
That was downstairs in the winter.
In the winter. You're like, where are these ladybugs coming from?
I got 3 as I'm writing the hardest parts of my book. And I was completely protected by all the trees around us. And that's what you do. You bring where my nervous system is feeling safe to write these words that it's hard, because it moves through my body as I'm writing them. And that's so important as a writing coach, that you understand when people are writing past traumas and their own stories, energetically moves through their body again every time you speak it and you write it. Yeah. So you are so good at making sure that our nervous system can handle all of that and we don't burn out. Yeah. And you truly believe in our message. I do. You do. And there's a lot of us. And so I just have to thank you. And you're kind of, I always say, well, like the Hay House and what they had for all the authors, that's truly what you're birthing with the JOA publishing. Yeah. And now with Writer's Island. I know. Writer's Island, I cannot wait for that to launch because...
Me too. It is like, I can't tell you, this show has been stuck in my body and I move at the speed of light, but that doesn't mean everybody I employ moves at the speed of light.
I can feel that sometimes. My mom's always like, you always want things to move fast. I'm like, well.
Patience, Keira. So that show is going to change the world. Yeah. And there has been a ridiculous amount of resistance, one that I don't tell all of you guys about because, well, that's not your part. And I know that it has resistance because on Writer's Island, we have women of all shapes, all sizes, all ethnicities, all religious backgrounds. On season 2, we have a Muslim, we have a Jewish woman, we have a Catholic woman, and we're all sitting in prayer together. Like, this will heal the nations.
Yeah, like Bridge. I was there for season 2.
You were there for season 2.
And I felt that. Yeah. I felt like there's a bridge. I know. There was a bridge between, a unity between all the different cultures, all the different religion, because I felt the resistance that was on there for, some of the authors, because it's all so new. And what was taught by man to be afraid of certain differences, I felt that resistance and I felt I could be that bridge there just because I feel for me traveling the world, learning different religions, even though I identify as the Christian, it's still, I see the importance of sound healing, frequencies, yoga, like all these things that sometimes people can resist. So I love the bridge that we saw, that unity. That was so beautiful.
I know.
It really was. And I still talk to them all the time and so connected. It is a bond that will be forever. Yeah. And I think there's nothing like that on TV.
Oh, no. And that's why there's been resistance because we're going to go change the whole world. Oh, yeah. and it's like, and this isn't a birth that, just happened. Like it is a birth that I am laboring and I feel it. And it is a birth that I will labor for. Because the world has forgotten that God speaks. And that is the work that I am here to do.
I feel that. That is so true. I feel that deeply, that the world has forgotten.
And what we show on that show is what you and I do. What we've done on every author adventure is we sit at the foot of God and we ask, what are the words that need to be written for time now, for humanity now? And we documented that. We documented us in prayer, sitting at the foot of God, asking what holy books need to be written. And this has been what has been done from the beginning of time, is that prophets and prophetesses have sat with God and said what needs to be written, and then they write it. And that is what this show documents. It is the path of the prophet. It is the path of the one who will sit, ask, listen, and write.
No. I feel that, and I feel that's why we had a diversity, because I'm not going to reach everybody globally. No. I'm going to need this community that was there, all the authors, because they can reach others that I can't. But in unity, we're all going to speak the same thing, that we are one, we're a love, and to speak to God. Yes. To make more time for God, find that clarity. And that's why with my book, The God Connection, that I wrote on season 1, I'm guiding people to find that clarity where they can decipher, am I listening my intuition, God, or is it coming from fear? And how we find that clarity, we really have a toxic load that is so high now. So a lot of it is the nervous system is calming so we can hear, but also getting rid of some of the toxins that's causing this fog.
Yes.
You know, and the busyness, like slowing down. You can't hear him if you keep busy nonstop.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's I know it's actually keeping it simple. More going back to simplicity.
It is.
You know, and less busyness, simplicity, simple foods, like real foods, you know, that give you light to your cells, you know. So I've such an honor to be part of this shift that the world needs.
It is.
And I'm just so very proud of you. And if you always, I've seen you, you know, when we had our event here last January, the room of people that were there and the fire that we felt and the energy, and there's a power to that when we're all together. But you have the power to do that to an entire room of hundreds of people. That's incredible, Keira, but that's because of the work, the internal work that you do.
It is. It is. It's not me. It is. I do the practice of sacred submission every day. And sacred submission for me is where I pick up whatever's in the way of my highest light, whatever's heavy, whatever's too much, and I put it into God. And that act of sacred submission is then me saying, I will be a vessel. Whatever I need to do, I will do. And that's the light that activates everyone. It's not me. It's just that I'm willing to surrender to the higher light and then use it as fuel. And, you know, I'm so excited because in February, we're going to have our red carpet event here where all of our authors in season 1 get to come here. And then I'm so just excited because you co-led with me on season 2. It was such an honor to, you know, no one comes up to my secret room on the island. You don't know where it is. It's hidden behind these secret doors.
I loved it.
And so I was able to bring you up to the secret room, the Queen's room, which has this balcony at the top where I always meet with God. And I've gotten my greatest messages on the top of that island. And I was so honored to bring you there, to pray with you there in leading these women and leading a show that we know is going to find people in their homes. Like God is going to be in their homes because of this show. Like where else do you find this? That's not tied to a religion. That's not tied to rules. That's not tied to you have to be perfect to know God. I have made more mistakes in the last 3 years than I've ever made in my life. And God consistently shows up and meets with me. And so it totally dissolved this idea that I had to be perfect, follow all the rules, be a saint for God to sit with me. Instead, it showed me that God will sit with me if I will just ask. There's no other precursor.
That's powerful. I love that you say that because so many people are perfectionism, right? And they do feel like almost that shame and guilt of like, oh, I've done wrong. And then they sit in that shame and it brings them down. And then the more that it brings you down, your energy down, then you get sick, your immune system. So it's important that God forgives.
Yes.
And to just rise up and say, it's okay. We don't have to just turn the page, start over. And I'm definitely not perfect. And I don't claim to be. I've made many mistakes, still do. Yeah. But I'm learning and I'm seeing that God keeps, trusting in me. And I know how to get back into that light, and trusting that I'm in the right direction. Yeah. So where do you see... For you, you've done so much the past 3 years. So where do you see for 2026, 2027 now?
So 2026, I just got booked. I don't know if I'm allowed to legally say it yet. I just got booked for a massive stage in Nashville in February, which I'm very excited about because it feels like it's time for me to go out to the masses and to share this message and awaken as many leaders as I can to this inner light of knowing that we need more leaders to write these types of books. Books are the only thing that live beyond us. Our YouTube channels, who knows what's going to happen in 100 years? Like cassette tapes used to be popular. You can't even buy a cassette tape. So all the things that we do now, we don't know if technology will be there in 100 years. But books last forever. And books bring truth. And so many people are writing books with their ChatGPT or a ghostwriter, and that completely cuts God out, which writing is always God-given, always. And so what my hope is to get on big stages, to go get on podcasts, to go share this message so that more leaders will hear it. That they, even if they never work with me, if they will just continue to ask, to continue to listen, and to write books that are going to change the world, that's my work. And so my hope is, I'm going to Nashville, and then I'm going to go speak in Paris. Then we've got our TV shows hitting this year. And the hope is to just reach more. Like, may we bring light to more. May my story of dealing with suicide ideation for 22 years of my existence, and to now have a multi-million-dollar company and a TV show, and I just wrote my 7th book, and I am alive. And I am alive because I don't play small. Playing small is what has made me want to die. When I no longer play small, I choose to live. And I hope that message finds everybody everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, exactly, because you chose to live. Look what you've done in 3 years.
I know.
So this could happen to our listeners. Like, imagine the life you can have if you just step into your truth, believe in yourself, and ask God. And just really connect with him. He will guide you. You've got to listen, and when he tells you something, go through that resistance, because I felt that. Even starting this podcast, I remember having that whisper last September. And I didn't start it till January, because I was like, I don't know how to do this, blah, blah, blah. But you had your women's business, the Mosaic Network. And so you were guiding us, steps. This is how you do it. And I was like, okay, we'll get started. And you know what? People are like, tell me, you're getting better. And actually, I never re-listen.
No, I never re-listen.
I'm the worst.
Ever.
I probably should. I probably would learn a lot. But I said, I'm more of a kinetic learner where I just got to dive right in and I'll only get better.
Exactly.
Right? So from the first episode to now, I only becomes more comfortable and more just real. And for me, I just learn along the way too, from each person that I have on, each story. That's why you're saying more books need to go out in the world. Yes, because I do feel that's how, after I lost my husband, actually, that's what I lean towards books. Books and podcasts, but primarily books of not the New York bestsellers. No. Actually, I looked for it was through podcasts that I would meet these people that share their story of resilience. Because I got really curious as to why I didn't fall, but my husband did, and why I couldn't reach him. Like, I just remember that darkness was like this brick wall. And so I got curious as to, okay, now that I have to take care of 2 children, and what if this happens to them? I better be better prepared. So I got curious. So I read so many books that really inspired me. And I started seeing once you read so many books of personal stories, like just look at all our authors. If you read all of their books, there's a common thread. There's going to be a common thread along all of them that people all do. And one of them is pray. And pray in their own way. Like you said, there no one religion, just pray. And the self-realization, purification, like forgiveness, just the time in self-reflection and self-care. That's the common thread that I see between all of us, all the authors. A lot of us now, we seem to have a similar purpose, but in our own different way, that we're shining that, because we do need to get global. Right. And reach the masses. And that's why I've translated now my book in French. And now, actually, I found one, she's in Mexico, and she will translate it. She said she loved my book. And she's a dear friend. She was living here, moved to Mexico, and she said she will translate it in Spanish.
I love this.
And I just feel all the languages, because I know just by reading this book, I will plant this seed in so many of you that I truly feel suppressing your truth, suppressing emotions is number one for disease. For your health.
It is.
And without your health, you can't be there for your kids, for your loved ones, and for your purpose. If you don't have children, that's okay. You still have purpose. You have so much work to do here. But what are we suppressing? If you're constantly getting sick, there's something you're not addressing or wanting to see. So the truth behind the smiles, suppression is the silent killer.
It is.
You know, we so many of the authors that I met, and I just could talk and talk forever because they host retreats for cancer healing. And they told me that a lot of it is emotional.
Of course.
Emotional, and how they treat these patients is actually moving those trapped emotions, bring back a light to their cell on a cellular level with nutrition. Yeah. And there's so many modalities, you know, that we can go into, but that would be a whole other show. But it's I just want people to understand how important to live through your truth that you're not willing to see, because that could be your silent killer.
Oh, and I feel, I mean, it's tender to my heart this week because there's been something really important in my life. As much healing work I do every day I'm asking God to rewire my DNA code every damn day. You know, like I'm just like, I am in it every day. And there was a blind spot in my life. And so last week I felt the blind spot start to like tap my shoulder. Like, hey, you should look at this part of your life. And I was like, no, it's fine. Like that part of my life is fine. It's amazing. But like that tap led me to start praying. And so I started to ask God for 5 days, show me the truth around this part of my life. And 2 nights ago, I was awakened by God for 2 hours. And in those 2 hours, God showed me truth. And it wasn't the truth I wanted to see. And it was very painful. And I understood why people want to not look, why we want to live in the illusions of our lives. Because if we actually looked and we asked God to see truth, when you see, you can't unsee. And so when I saw big decisions have to be made now, but that's the life I'm up for living. I refuse to live ever again with blinders on. I did that for 20 years. I refuse to live ever again suppressing my voice, suppressing my gifts, suppressing my purpose at the expense of making life better for somebody else. And that creates an amount of courage and bravery that most of us don't think we have, but we do. We do. We all have this courage inside of us. We all have this bravery. And if we would just be willing to ask God to show us truth, we will become the person God needs us to become.
Oh, that was powerful words.
Yeah,
you are
rough.
So gifted with your words. That was, and it's funny that you said within the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
There must have been something going on, because I had something similar come up, old patterns showing up for me, and it was shown to me, that truth. So I've been processing that, actually.
Gosh.
I've been sitting in it, and I think that's why I lost my voice.
Of course.
Because that's my gift right now, is to use my voice. And the last time God took away my voice, I literally had, they had found a cyst on my vocal cords. I had a surgery, couldn't speak. I was using a whiteboard, anyways, for 3 weeks. And I was doing the same over the weekend, typing on my phone to my children. The last time that happened to me is because I wasn't using my voice. I was in my marriage, suppressing all the emotions. And so now there was something else I was moving. I wasn't willing to see another truth in me. And I was repeating these old patterns that, even like you said, I do a lot of work on myself too. I still do. And I will never stop doing work on me, but there was another truth, another layer. It's like God's, okay, you're ready for this layer now.
Yeah. Yes.
He won't show you all of them all at once, because that'd be a little overwhelming, I think.
And I think we would combust.
Yeah.
One at a time.
Yeah, please.
One at a time. Okay.
Because when you process that truth, there's almost this grief. I felt like this immense sadness. Like I just cried, and I just had to sit in it, and that was okay. You know, but that's how I call it purification. You purify these old patterns by acknowledging it, seeing it, finally seeing it. Yeah. And then you can let it go and give it to God.
So what's interesting is when you say your throat, so mine started out physically, and that's what led to this, was a month ago, maybe actually 38 days ago. I know this because I started a healing practice the exact same time. I broke out in an acne that was at a level that I didn't I've never seen or experienced ever. It was cystic, and I had every day 10 new zits. And it was like, they actually were like boils on my face.
Oh, wow.
It was so gnarly. And it's really gnarly for me because I'm on camera every damn day. I am running a mastermind every day. I am always on camera. And I was like, I'd never been more grateful for makeup ever. I mean, I was just plastering on makeup because it was so intense and it hurt so bad. And I was like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? So of course, the first 2 weeks, don't ask God. 2 weeks, Keira? Like, how embarrassing, right? 2 weeks, I'm just like doing all this weird stuff to make my zits go away. And they just kept getting worse and worse and worse. And finally, one of my mornings, I go into prayer and I'm like, God, what is going on with my zits? And then God was like, it's your liver. I'm like, what? So then I of course, do all this research on how to heal the liver. And I'm going into my liver and I'm like, oh my gosh, there is so much suppressed rage. And I'm like, well, why? I've done so much work. Why is there so much rage? And then that rage led, like all this healing. I've been healing my liver for 3 weeks now. My acne is gone. And that's what opened up this blind spot. Like, hey, you actually have rage over here. And I was like, no, I don't. No, I don't. And then it was like, oh my gosh. And it's going to require some very hard decisions to be made this week that will have intense ramifications. And I'm willing to do it because I watched what happens when I left 20 years of suppression, who I've become. And so now I will deal with whatever ramifications come because I will never suppress again.
Suppress again, because you see that. So I'm interested now in the liver, because you said the rage, so many people deal with that rage and they can't pinpoint well, why does that keep showing up? Now, do you find your rage was generational, or just from just over time, or something new, or it was just...
I mean, I'm sure the rage is generational. Mm-hmm. I have lots of abuse in my generational lines. But I think it's been my protector. It's been my friend. Like, being angry and rageful gets shit done in my world. Like, and it's actually a barometer. My rage will show up when things aren't right in my life. When alignment is off, I have rage. And then I go, oh, what's not in alignment anymore? So it's like a partner and a friend. But I mean, I've never drank a drop of alcohol. So I'm like, people are like, well, you've been drinking. I'm like, no, I never drank. And my poor liver. Like, when I started to heal her, I lost 2 inches on my waist, which tells me how inflamed my liver had been.
And what have you been doing to heal it? Like,
so
are you doing
I'm doing the lemon and water as soon as I wake up in the morning.
That's what I do, yeah. And
before I move out of my bed, I place my hand on her and I tell her it's safe to soften. And I tell her how much I love her and how grateful I am for her and that she's safe to be soft. And that's all. Yeah. I did cut out caffeine. Saddest story
that's
of
a
my
hard
life.
one.
That was very sad. My Starbucks people are like, where is Keira?
I think this is probably speaking to me
can't.
That I have to do the same thing.
Oh my gosh. And I don't even drink coffee. It's chai. But oh my gosh, that chai was my favorite part of my day. And I had to give it up for her. And I have felt, gosh. So it's just like, but the rage led me to find the blind spot. The blind spot led me to ask God. God then showed me truth, and now I have to be radically responsible with the truth.
Okay, I love that. I'm connecting because it resonates so much in my body, and I do feel your body speaks, right, constantly. And you said those emotions, those rage. Well, what's triggering these rage? Because that's not. We're pretty even keel, fun people. So when that shows up, when it shows up for me, it's like you nailed it. Yeah. It was like, we're out of alignment.
Something's out.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the barometer. Mm-hmm. And so like Mona, who's my head project manager, who is everything.
I love her.
Runs the whole damn house. We've named rage Taz. That's the name of like when I feel this rage. And it's not like I rage at people. It's like it's like a rage, like something's not working. She's like, no, I love Taz because Taz tells us where there are holes. Taz shows us who's not a good person. Taz, and so like there's like, it's not that rage is bad, but it's been suppressed in this certain area of my life that I just had my blinders on. And so it's like, oh, thank you, rage. Thank you for bringing zits out because I wouldn't have gone to my liver. I would have never done what I'm doing. And so sometimes the body will bring it to your face, literal. So you cannot ignore the signs anymore.
Right.
Like you losing your voice?
Yeah.
All right, what's going on?
Exactly. I have a friend that has been getting a lot of migraines lately. I'm like, God's telling you something to look at something with it deeper.
Yeah.
You know, look at the root cause. I'm always saying that. Like ask question, get curious.
Yes.
You know?
Curious is the word that I live by. Be curious. One of my adult children was recently telling me that they don't believe in God, which actually doesn't affect me because I'm like, no, you'll find your way today or in a month or 7 years. Like you will find your way to God. But what I found was I just said, just seek. Just seek. Start listening to podcasts and reading books that invite curious energy. That's all it starts with is just be curious. Be a seeker. And you will end up finding the way of the light. And for me, it is God. That is the name I give this divine presence. But I was working with someone recently who's been through a lot of really hard loss. And of course, she right now does not believe in God. And this is, I was like, how do I help her? Because this is my language and this is my work. And so I just went into prayer and God said to me, have her lay her heart on the earth and to breathe with the frequency of the earth and answers will come to her. And so I said, what do you think about this idea? Like, take God out of this. Do you believe in the energy of the earth? She was like, yes. I'm like, then this is what we do. We're going to put our hearts on the earth and we're going to breathe with the frequency and the heartbeat of the earth. And you're going to breathe that energy up and you're going to breathe all your trauma into the earth. And then you're going to ask for answers. And then you're going to start writing after you do this. And she was like, this is the first time someone has shown me a path other than God. Because I do believe, and I have had my years that I hated God. I've had my years that I didn't like God. And so I have full compassion and understanding that when you've been through something hard, you're like, where the hell were you?
Oh, yes. My daughter went through that after she lost her father. She's like, okay, well, why would God take my dad away? I'm 8 years old.
Yes. It's a natural thing. And we shun it and we shame it on the outside. So people are like, you can't be angry at God. Yes, my anger at God helped me find God. My yelling at God helped me actually break the walls that I had between me and God. And so anyone listening, if God, the word hurts your system, you have anger, like you're not alone. This isn't bad, but just stop making it bad and start seeking. And if that means connecting to the earth, connect to the earth.
Yes.
If it means connecting to your own breath, connect to your own breath. But for the love, may we not walk alone.
Yes. Yes. That's so beautifully said because that's so true. Whatever you want to call it. I'm comfortable with God, but I recognize that a lot of people are not.
Yeah.
I'm going to call it the light, the divine light, what source, there's it doesn't matter,
No.
Whatever you resonate to, but know that you're not alone ever. And ultimately you have to go within and I feel like we can share so much. There's so much depth to you and your story. Yeah. And I truly hope, I know you will inspire a lot of the listeners here that are feeling overwhelmed and don't see how they can make it out on their own right now, taking care of 5, 7 kids on their own. Yeah. But your story, again, those books will inspire so many. So don't ever stop being that incredible writing coach, the JOA publishing, and, you're speaking, just the global movement that you're on. Yeah. I am going to be you have many number one fans, but.
Well, I am your number one fan. I talk about you all the time. You are the example I share to so many new authors that come in who feel like, who am I to write a book? I don't have a following, all these things. And I always tell them your story. I tell them, Melissa, Melissa went from a grieving widow who was a dental hygienist to now she's been on my TV show twice. She has her own podcast. She's speaking on stages. Like, it's not that we were ready. It's not that we had everything dialed in. We just were it. And as you become it, all the doors arrive.
Yeah. Oh, there've been so many miracles, and it's not comfortable. I'm not stepping into all this stuff like, oh, this is a breeze. No. This is so easy. No. I'm about to go on the stage in front of a big conference, and I'm like, no, I'm nervous.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the work. I'm finding, preparing for it, and just stepping that God will give me the words. I mean, I truly feel my story is kind of my gift because I can reach the hearts of people. Yeah, because of the pain and the darkness that we have been in, and to shine to where we are here now today with my family, it gives hope. So
you are a hope giver, and I adore you.
Oh, thank you. And how now people can reach you? I know we'll have it all in the show notes and whatnot. But if people want to work with you, they want to write a book in their hearts, they want to share, how can they work with you?
Amazing. So Keira Brinton, my Instagram, just send me a DM. That's super fast. And we have 3 links in my bio. One is the author readiness quiz, which is super helpful. People can understand which archetype of an author they are, which helps them understand their author language. We have an application in there as well if people want to apply to become a JOA author. And I have weekly webinars. So there will always be a link in my bio for people to come to webinars. And in these webinars, I'm activating authors. And that's probably the best place to begin.
Oh, I love that. Well, I love you. Thank you for listening today on Not Alone with Melissa Sue Methvin. I hope this story is inspiring you to see your truth with grace, with kindness, with forgiveness, and live the life that you always have dreamt to be.